Hello, I am Ragnarok, and welcome to the Reckoning. So today we're going to be doing another patch notes update video. So for the Age of Calamitous mod for Conan Exiles, the game. This is going to cover the October 25th, the most recent update to the Age of Calamitous mod, version 2.93. So as with the last two videos, this is a new series that we're going to be trying out to see if, delivering the in-depth, more detailed information for the patch notes is something useful and something you guys are all interested in. So if you are interested in this series and would like to see more of these in the future, leave a comment in the comment section below. That will help me greatly to decide whether this is something that, is worth the time and is something that you guys would like to see. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the patch notes and show what they mean, the in-depth information into it. There'll probably be one or two things we'll skip over very quickly because there's nothing really, no substance there. But we will talk about pretty much everything in the patch notes. So let's get into it. So the first things to talk about is there are a couple renames. Rename the Wraith to Rayth with an R instead of an WR, and the Harbinger of Souls. Curse Undead are now the Servants of the Wraith, which are the new NPCs that were added the last patch. There's a journey step as far as the Wraith that was renamed, whatever. There are fixes for various bugs, which is one of the last lines in the update section. Just a little glitches here and there, nothing really, no substance there, nothing that really anybody would notice on the front end. So what we're going to skip down to is increased wood generation for lumbermill and increased or reduced generation time for tier 3 mines. So the lumbermill was changed the last update. Here it is, lumbermill. The amount of time it generated stuff was actually reduced by 60 seconds. So 60 seconds faster, it actually generated stuff. So now what was changed with it is it actually still within the 200 seconds per generation. It will now increase, spawn in double what it did before. So it actually doubled the amount of wood generation it does in the same time period as the last patch, which was a couple days before this one. So that's the update to the lumber mill, just double the wood in the same amount of time. As far as the reduced generation time for tier 3 mine. So the last patch, it was reduced by 50 seconds down to 170 seconds per generation. This has been farther decreased by 8, so by an additional 20 seconds. So instead of 170 seconds per generation, now it's 150 seconds per generation. So a little faster. It generates the same amount of stuff as it did before, just in less time. So another significant jump. So there's tier 1 is 180 seconds per generation, tier 2 is 175, and then tier 3 was 170. So there's only 5 seconds difference from each tier, but tier 1 and tier 2 is not really that big of a difference. That's why there's a close generation gap. But tier 3 is a significant increase. It gives you a lot more stuff, but not only that, but it's an immense thing to the amount of mats it takes to actually make the tier 3 resource mine is pretty great. Usually it's very end game content or a clan build. So to reward that larger investment in the mine, figured make a bigger gap between the tier 2 and tier 3. So instead of 175 and 170 seconds, it's went from 175 to 150 seconds per generation. So, okay, so the next line is, or the next thing we're going to go over is updated Bobby Sanctuary and added Minion of Brunhild. So, as you can see, last patch, that was updated. But if you look to your left, what is this? We now have a portal inside of Bobby Sanctuary, which, for anybody that doesn't know what Bobby Sanctuary is, the entrance right here at Jahil's Roost. There's another way to get in it. I think over here at one of these caves, it goes around this way. This way is the Jill's Roost is probably the easiest way to get into Bobby Sanctuary right there. It's a cave. But anyways, here's a portal. Let's go through it. Okay, so as you can see, we go through the portal, and we are now in what looks like a little bit of an arena. Let's turn the let's turn my light off. There you go. Give it a little natural feel for a second so you can get a little idea. Let's run around. So as you can see, Bobby's there. Actually, we're going to turn the light back on so we can see. And these are the Minions of Brunhild. So these are the new NPCs that were added. And you can see there's a second floor, but there is no other floor. And if you're curious, there's lanis. And if you're curious where we are, there you go. You're like, ooh, look at that drop. That's a fun drop. There's no way to climb up here. There's no way to, and if you drop down, trust me, do not drop down, especially if you're in the middle of fighting, because it is a long way to get back here from where that portal brings you. So you will be doing a lot of running, or a decent amount of running. Not maybe not a lot, but either way. So this is now Bobby and Lanis's whatever, arena, dungeon, whatever you want. Now, this is a very complicated place. I'm not going to go too much into how to fight this or how to do it, but I will show you one thing just to make note of. These little Brunhild dudes, they actually give off the Elrican Plague. So, what you want to be careful of is now, as you can see, there's a bunch of them are spawning in. The Plague will actually cover on a multiplayer server. The graphics are a little different on the single player server, but it will actually cover about 1.5 of these squares. There are 4 guys that usually spawn in at once. So if you kill one there, you kill one there, and you kill one there, for example, because you obviously kill one, you're going to move away to a safe distance, which is like, say, here. You're going to kill another one here. Or you're going to kill 2 here like I'm about to do. And you're going to move away. And then you're going to kill another one and move away. Well, the problem is that the Plague will cover up this entire area, including a good portion of what's below you. So then you get in an area stuck where you can't kill anything else until you like spin around in this area like this. So you have to be very careful. Now, the other really exciting thing, kill these guys real quick. As you can see, Lanis and Bobby, they both have about 120,000 HP each. So, I mean, I'm using the hardcore weapon at 50 max strength. And as you can see, I'm not really doing a lot of damage. I mean, I'm doing damage, but I'm not doing a lot. And their damage output is pretty high. So it'll take a good amount of time. Be careful. They do cause bleed. And then obviously you have these dudes that give the Plague. So if you're going to throw with you, just be aware that you're going to need to heal it. And you're going to have to be very careful because this is not a huge arena to fight in. And if you kill someone over there and your thrall's fighting Lanis, say like right there, and you run over here, it may not always be the good distance to actually get your thrall to move. Sometimes you have to move a little farther, which you can't. So it's kind of very dangerous. The other thing, too, is that this battle is going to take you a long time. I think I did it with another player that was like 110, and I was like 110. And we both had thralls. And it took us a good, I'd say like 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe to kill both of these guys with the amount of life that they have. And the one thing to make note is that over every like couple minutes, these dudes, the Minion of Brunhild will respawn in. And yep, there you go. See, there's one right there. And no matter where you stand, they will come up here because they basically come to the aid of both Lanis and Bobby. So even if you're like fighting them over here and you're like, oh, if they spawn in over there, they're not going to come up here. They're going to slowly come up the steps, and you're probably going to get like 40 of these guys in the time it takes you to kill these dudes. So this is a constant battle of killing these dudes, avoiding the Plague, and then surviving Bobby and Lanis, separating them. So this is definitely what I would consider a raid arena, and it's not really that big also. You know, you can't fall off. If you fall off and your buddy's up here, he's probably gonna be waiting a good amount of time for you to get back to your body or get back to the portal so you can come up here and help, because you cannot climb up here if you fall. Trust me, you can't. So don't fall off. Be careful with your rolling. And there is definitely a mechanic to beating this. As you can see, there's another dude right there. And another one right there. The only reason they're not attacking is because only 4 of these can attack. 4 creatures can attack you at once. If I kill him, another one's going to come. See? There you go. Now he's coming. So, kill this guy too. And then the other one should come. Yes, here he comes. So, it's going to be constant. They are meant to spawn in that quick. And trust me, it is extremely, extremely rough. But what these guys drop is actually really, really good. Make sure you skin Bobby and Lanis also. They drop some really good stuff now. That will change after Halloween. But for now, like, I think Bobby has the ability. I think one time I skinned him and he dropped me a whole diamond and a silver coin. And then Lanis dropped me like a sky and bar and a silver coin. So something like that. So their loot is pretty good. I don't know if it's as good as the dungeon is. This dungeon to me, or arena, is actually just more like a lot of fun. So anyways. Okay, so the next thing, as I'm walking to this next area, I just want to mention, because I did kind of skip over it, was fixed an issue with Elvenor and Felgarth magic casters. That was just a little glitch with them, not really doing their casting properly. So that was fixed. We're going to gloss over that because it's self-explanatory. There was just a little bug with that, so that was fixed. Anyways, so the next big thing to talk about is the Bane of the Cursed and the lore object added Rayth, the Harbinger of Souls. So we have this, the first lore stone added to the Age of Calamitous mod. Freaking awesome. Now, there's a trick with it though. We interact. It says require the knowledge of a felgarth elder. So wait a second. So there's a lore store in the game. It does something. I can interact with it, but I can't do it unless I'm not only felgarth but a felgarth elder. Well, what's a felgarth elder? Let's go into our feats. Go to felgarth, and if you go through them, look at the names. Elder right there. So level 60 feat is called the felgarth elder. So let's learn it real quick. Okay. There you go. We got, you have learned new feat, Bane of the Cursed. So not only is this, you can kind of hear, I can sense your presence. When you learn it, there's a little voice, and then there's some lore here, which is really, really, really cool. It gives you a gist of like what the Bane of the Curse could possibly do, where to make it, and a little lore knowledge on the Wraith, which is, I'm in the Wraith's cave right now, which we'll show on the map again. So here's the Wraith's cave, Lockstone Cave. Inside of it, before you get to the Wraith is down that way more, which we'll show in a minute. There is this lore stone. So this is really cool. It's the first lore object for the Age of Calamitous mod, which I really think it's going to add a lot more in depth, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come. It's interesting that it's locked behind the Felgarth faction and a specific level of the Felgarth faction. So now if this is the first of many, and I'm sure there's going to be things like this for other factions, it's going to give you specific reasons to either trade with other factions, be other factions, or just like have a clan full of a bunch of different factions. So it's a really interesting thing, and also the first recipe you've gained in the Age of Calamitous mod from a lore stone boss, whatever. So that's really, really cool, I think. So let's check out what the Bane of the Curse is. Okay, so the Bane of the Curse is going to be a recipe that you can craft at the enchanting table. Scroll down, Bane of the Cursed. So it says mod. So what the Bane of the Curse is actually a weapons mod. It takes 1 arcane essence, 1 ectoplasm, 3 mystical dust, and 5 Calaluthia plant. Just keep an eye on that. That may change. If you craft 1, it gives you, if we wait, and this is obviously without a thrall on the bench, it'll be cheaper otherwise. It'll give you 1. And it says right here, enchantment, felgarth, weapon. So it's a weapon enchantment. Awesome. So as you can see, I have a bunch already made. Let's stack that on top of that. Awesome. And it is literally that. It is a weapon enchantment. So if you take it and you drop it on your weapon, boom. There you go. So what it does is, you can kind of think of it kind of like the spectral essence, I believe it's called, or bleed. So it adds bleed to undead, essentially. It's like I said, it's very similar to the spectral essence, the little enhancement you can put on weapons to actually do like a bleed damage to like the ghosts and stuff like that. But this actually does it to all undead creatures. This does do 50% more damage than a typical bleed or the spectral essence does to specters. It does 1.5 ticks per stack, whereas the other ones do 1 tick, 1 per stack. The multiplier per stack is 1.5 instead of 1. The damage per tick is still 5. That's the same as all the other ones. This one, the effect lasts for 10 seconds. So whenever your last hit or update of the actual effect was, it lasts for about 10 seconds. Now the trick to this one is you only get 10, there's a maximum of 10 stacks, so you can only stack this effect on an undead creature up to 10 stacks. But you only get 10 uses. So what that basically means is if I use this weapon right here, my number 1 slot, and I hit 10 times, after the 10th hit, this orb is going to go away, and I no longer have this effect on the weapon. So it's kind of like, you can think of it like a poison coating that you would maybe in another game, you put like a poison coating on your weapon. After a certain amount of hits, that coating kind of wears off, and you have to reapply. So you only get 10 hits. Well, 10 hits, you can stack this thing 10 times. So 1 full stack, and then you're out. But the cool thing is you can just take your orb, and you can make a bunch of these. I was just making a bunch of these, and you can reapply it to the weapon. It doesn't do anything, so you can just keep reapplying it every 10 hits. The cool thing is once you get the full 10 stacks on there, all you have to do is hit it every once, like 7 or 8 seconds, and it will re-up the 10-second timer on the 10 stacks. So once you get the 10 stacks on there, you can essentially, for another 100 seconds, with another application of the Bane of the Cursed, you can keep that 10 stack going, which is actually a considerable amount of time. And when you see how much damage this thing does, it's pretty impressive. Also, you're not going to be really using this on like just undead skeletons. You're going to be using this on bosses. So it's not something that you're like, okay, that's like a bunch of mats and it's a pain in the butt to keep reapplying. You're going to be using this in special cases only. I mean, you could use it for less, but I think it'd be a waste otherwise. But let's take a look at this in effect when we take a look at all the updates for the Wraith. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Wraith now and all the stuff. So we got updated Wraith, added new ability for the Wraith. And then what else did we do for the Wraith? There was something else, I feel. Actually, that was it. So basically what happened is so the previous update, they added the magical attacks. However, if you were close up with the Thrall, the Wraith never did his magical attacks. He only did if you were at a distance. So what you could do is you could come in here with your Thrall, cheese him by your Thrall being on him and then making sure you're on him. He did a lot of damage, but not enough where a high level character couldn't heal through it and then hear your Thrall, and he would never cast his magical attacks. He would just do his sword swipes, which really are, like I said, they do a good amount of damage, but nowhere near what his magical attacks do. So what happened is now he has a pushback that he does, which his pushback has a 60-second cooldown, and then he will cast all his magical attacks whether you're close or far. So it does not, distance no longer matters. So basically, if your Thrall gets in there, he's going to get in-person, up-front view of the guys of the Wraith's red attack, which does a crap load of damage. For this demonstration, I actually brought a Cold Embrace Master, which is the tier 10 Cold Embrace Soldier. As you can see, 15,000 life. I'm put on Frost Knight armor, except for obviously I put the Magus Hood on him just to make him look more cool, with bulk plating. So, I mean, he has 1392, almost 1400 armor right now. I also gave him World Breaker just for a weapon, so we can see, you know, kind of what the kind of damage this guy is. But remember, 15,000 HP, okay? So we're going to get our guy in there. We're going to see how much damage he gets when he gets that red thing in the face. I jacked up my HP just to let you guys know. I have 26,000 HP, and my armor is 5,200. You can't do this in a normal game, just to let you know. This is me messing with stats. Main reason is because I want you to see me. I don't want to be in God mode. I want you to see the effect of these magical attacks. So in order to do that, we need to be in not God mode. So here's his pushback. Boom. So there's your pushback. He pushes you back. He pushes back your Thrall. And there's his green attack with the Elric and Plague. So now we have the Plague. Our Thrall has... So let's look at our Thrall's life. He's got 1460. I want to see the Thrall actually get hit with the strongest. Where's the Thrall? Where'd he go? There he is. I want to see... that's the blue attack, which will give you... It's a cold attack, so it will give you Cold Snap. And I want to see him get hit by the... How much life do I have? 26. And he has... There you go. So he went from 15,000 down to 12,900. So he literally lost 2,500 life. And that was the red attack. And I even lost... Well, I didn't lose that much. But again, I'm not... You can't ever have the stats that I currently have right now. So that red attack did a lot. I mean, look how much life he lost. And that was just in some of the magic casts. So you are not going to be able to do him as easy as you did before and just bring a Thrall in here. I mean, if you bring like a Cold Embrace Soldier or a Stormhold Soldier in here, they are going to die unless you heal up. So just be very careful. The red attack does ignore armor. So it doesn't matter what you arm these guys in. They are going to die. So now let's check out. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually kill. Let's see if I can actually kill my guy. There you go. Okay, so I wanted to test out the Bane of the Curse, but a demonstration on the Wraith is probably not the best way to do it. So what we're going to do is I spawned in the... Of course, this is not where he naturally spawns. I spawned him in. But this is the dragon. As you can see, he's got a lot of life. This is the undead dragon, the vanilla dragon. So it's an undead creature. So this is going to work on any undead creature, whether AOC or vanilla. So, the Bane of the Cursed. We're going to get our 10 stacks on here. Got 9. There you go, 10. So we got 10 stacks on him. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit him every, like, 5 seconds. There you go, 1 poke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 poke. And we're not going to do any more damage. I just want you to see how much this bleed is. Now, granted, it's not an insane amount, but I mean, if you look how much his life is dropping, I've poked him, what, 10, 11, 12, 13 times? And I'm using light attacks, by the way. I wasn't using heavy attacks. and my damage is only 50. My strength is 50, and I'm using well, I think it's an end game Age of Calamitous. Oop, I lost the stacks. Whoops, my bad. So that's one thing is you gotta make sure you pay attention to your stacks. There you go. Switch to the next weapon. But as you can see, we've only poked him a handful of times. We haven't really poked him a crap load. And I mean, he is losing life pretty fast. Considering, okay, well, this guy's gonna damage my, there you go. He's gonna damage my test. But I mean, I've barely done any damage. So if you really think about it, you get 10 stacks on him. You heal, you move around like this. You don't have to hit him at all. You go up to him. Oh, I lost 10 stacks again, of course. You will have to be very aware of but as you can see, I mean, this is doing a good amount. Now, obviously, with the Wraith, it's going to be a little different because the Wraith has way more HP than the Undead Dragon. But I mean, as a good demonstration, the Undead Dragon has a crap load. So the Bane of the Curse is actually going to be really, really good. So yeah, the Bane of the Curse is going to be really, really good. And I'll just show you real quick. See, you can just reapply these. These are all the weapons that it ran out on because I did the 10 hits. So, I mean, you just reapply it. Now, obviously, you're not going to have a full bar full of this. I did that for the sake of ease. But, I mean, if you do it with, like, 2 weapons and you rotate through, you reapply your stack. Once you get your 10 stacks on there, you switch to your other weapon, wait a couple seconds, boom, do your hit, go here real quick, drag it on top of the next weapon or your first weapon, whatever. So, you're just rotating back and forth between 2 weapons. You know, do your every update, poke, every like 5 or 6 seconds, poke. Once it runs out, switch to your other weapon, reapply it to the second one. You kind of go back and forth like that. For the boss creatures, like I said, I think it's a good balance as far as it's not too OP because you have to keep reapplying it. It can only be stacked 10 times, but as you can see, it did a significant amount of damage against the Undead Dragon, which, like I said, doesn't have a small amount of HP. Against something like the Wraith or something like that, it's still doing a lot of HP. The Wraith has a crap load of HP, so it's going to take way longer if you're going to fight that way. I probably wouldn't suggest fighting that way, but, you know, you have your Thrall in there attacking the Wraith while you poke it every once in a while and then get away so you can dodge its spells and then heal your Thrall in between. You know, you're going to have to play a little game with it, but I think it is a very viable and really cool thing. So I think it's a cool addition, and like I said, it does work with both AOC and vanilla. So the Bane of the Cursed, definitely a plus in my thing, and like I said, it gives you a reason to be felgarth also, or know someone that's felgarth, or trade with someone that's felgarth. So that's pretty cool. Gives you another reason to play a specific faction, and this is just the first of many, I'm sure. So be excited for more stuff to come out for other factions that are specific to the factions that are things that, you know, a lot of players are probably going to want for specific cases. So keep an eye on that. As far as everything else, that's the entire patch notes. So we went through everything. I think this was a pretty strong, solid patch. I think there's some pretty cool, decent updates, and I'm really excited about the whole lore ability and the specific recipes that, not only the recipes that you can now learn in the AOC mod, but that are specific to factions, and to seeing what else comes out in the future. So, if you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to see more of the videos, hit the sub button so you can get notified when the next video comes out, because I will be releasing these, and my goal is to, again, release these as soon as the patch notes come out, but because I just came up with this idea, I was obviously behind the patch notes a little bit. But there will be a lot more patches coming out, a lot more changes happening in the game, so stay tuned for that. Definitely hit that sub button so you can get notified when those videos drop as soon as they drop. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I do read the comments. Also, like I said, it's a new series, so if you're interested in seeing more of these, definitely let me know in the comment section below. We stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/RagnarrockLive, and we have an amazing, amazing Discord full of a lot of Conan enthusiasts, a lot of people that run different servers, as well as, you know, we have our own server for the community. And just a lot of people that are just in general love playing Conan or have been playing it a long time, or even new players. So feel free to join the Discord. Links for both are in the description below. Also, I want to say thank you to this month's Patreon supporters. I really do appreciate you all for that extra level of support. Anything is always appreciated and helps out put out more future content in the future. So thank you for that. And that was I'll see you guys in the next update video, or just the next video in general. Thank you so much as always, and as always, remember, fear the reckoning.